Boom. All right, I was close. It wasn't perfect, but I was definitely close with that. Welcome, everybody, to our Big Brother Canada 4 show. If you are watching this live in YouNow, become a fan. Become a fan. And if you want to watch it live, you can do that at younow.com/reality recaps. If you're watching the playback in iTunes, favor 5-star rating and a nice review really helps support our shows. If you are watching in YouTube, you can click on these buttons, thumbs up and subscribe. That's awesome. But two quick things. The best way you can support our shows is become a patron. You get access to the patron group, swag giveaways, shows and content just for patrons. We also tell you guys stuff early. And it really helps support our shows. That's the best way. Now, if you guys are here for Big Brother Canada and you love Big Brother Canada, you're gonna want us in the backyard live streaming on finale night your questions. But we need your help to get there, so check out yourrealityrecaps.com/Canada, and the link will be below, and it's on our website and all the blogs. But any donations you guys want to make to help get us there, we would really appreciate, so we can live stream it for you guys. But, oh wait. I was gonna do this with Dana, but you know what? I think it'll be smarter for me to do it right now, because I think it'll be blocking when Dana comes on. So, one more quick little announcement. Like you guys heard, Christine is here. Let me bring her on. Hey, Christine. Hey, Christine. Oh, you're backwards. Whatever. I'll talk to the back of your head. Oh, you're feeling sick, Christine? You're going to come on next week instead? All right, Christine. Well, we'll see you next week then. You go for now. Bye. I'm going to bring up Dana instead. Here's Dana.
Hey, everybody. You're in a weird mood today, Eric.
I'm in a weird mood today.
I've been drinking.
I don't know. I've been drinking Clear Splash Orange Mango. So, in case you guys didn't follow what we were just saying, we were gonna have Christine on tonight. She is not feeling well, so we were like, you know what? Don't stress yourself out. We're not gonna have anybody next week, we don't think, or we don't know how it's going to all play out next week, but we're assuming we're not going to have anybody. So we'll have Christine come on next week. Plus, she'll be feeling better, so it'll be more fun. Exactly. Right, Dana Lee Dow?
Exactly. No one wants a sickie.
And we have so much to recap from this week.
Oh my gosh, my head is like...
We have up to the minute spoilers, but we're going to save all the spoilers for the end. So nobody worry, we're not going to ruin anything. We will be very clear at the end of the show when we are moving into our spoiler section. I'm sorry. Someone just hatched a bird on the screen.
What?
I don't know. Look, someone just hatched a bird. This is a reason you guys need to become a fan on YouNow and watch this live and be part of the chat room. That totally distracted me. I don't know. There was a little egg and it said someone hatched an Easter egg. That was weird.
I need to see that.
Someone will have to do it again. Okay, Dana.
Let's just start off at the beginning of the week.
Let's
HOH.
Do that.
Probably the best HOH competition I've seen in a long time. The first picture, Eric.
Yes.
That up because that gives me life. Like, just watching that, I just sat there and prayed for that ball to fall out so that these two would kiss and freak the hell out. Like, I'm sure Dallas would have went bananas.
Oh, 100%. 100%. There you go. There's your Easter egg. People think we're crazy that watch it back, because when people, you guys should all know, when you guys watch the shows back, they're in HD, they're widescreen, there's stuff happening on the sides that you guys don't even get to see, and you don't see all the YouNow stuff, so it's just another reason to watch these shows back. You get all the more bonuses. Yeah, I loved that competition, Dana. I thought it was hysterical. I think Nikki and Phil.
She's just... Oh my gosh.
Lori R in the chat room says it killed her too, but it killed her because she wanted a lip lock from Phil.
I think we all want a lip lock from Phil, let's be honest.
Whoever is running Phil's side note, Phil BB Can Twitter.
That's his parents.
Yeah. Well, parents didn't really like me a lot today.
Oh no?
No. Let me go ahead and bring up Exhibit A. Wait, let's see if this will work. Here we go. Ready? Yes. So you don't know this? You don't know this yet, Dana? Okay, so ready? I'll just do it this way. Here we go. So, because we have a supersized show, so we'll just do it all this show. So I said, what the fuck? Because Rail was massaging Phil. And then Team Phil didn't like it. And they were like, Phil used to play high-level competitive hockey and is used to massages by guys, so no difference. And I was like, I meant what WTF, I wasn't the one doing it. I love Phil. And then they were like, haha, if you live in Ottawa, come on down. He'll do it or something. I don't know. But I thought it was funny. I thought it was very funny.
Oh, wow. You're just getting into trouble all over the place.
Getting into trouble all over the place, yes.
Keep you on a leash.
Mm-hmm.
But what was interesting with this HOH is, if you noticed, like, you had Jared and Dallas paired together, who are arch enemies. You had Kelsey and Ramsey paired together, which are enemies. You had, like, it just seemed like this random draw was very
convenient.
Yes.
And now they maintain that it's a random draw, correct? Like, they don't show us. They just kind of say, it's been done by random draw. Interesting.
Yeah.
Very.
I don't know. They don't show us the draw or anything when we're there. So.
To be fair, neither does our Big Brother. Our Big Brother does not, show those types of things either. Just in the interest of fairness. And I don't why would they lie? I think there's no, need or reason for them to lie.
Exactly. I mean, I believe them. It just how it played out. So, but it was funny to watch. And it's funny to watch the height difference between a Phil and a Nikki, and especially with Joel and Mitch too, because Joel's 6'4". And...
Oh, I got it. Joel and Mitch. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's hysterical. I don't think we have echo when we play them, Dana, anymore. So we're good to talk when the pictures are on. I actually went out and got a souvenir because of that HOH. I got, one of those what do they call them? I'll just bring up the picture. I'll show you. I felt like I wanted something that was very reminiscent of that challenge. It's kind of hard to get house props and stuff. So I went out to the store and I got my own.
Oh.
I've been using it. It's fun. We totally play I'll be Phil and you be Monkey Face. And we use the thing and we recreate the whole comp and we run up and down the room. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say to that, Eric.
That's okay.
I don't know.
So
the challenge. Okay, so Mitch and Joel... Maddie and Tim actually did pretty well in this challenge. Jared and Dallas were doing pretty well. But in the end, Mitch and Joel win. And so now they have to decide who is going to be HOH. And Mitch, being the smarty pants that Mr. Mitch is, him and Joel had predetermined they're going to do a rock, paper, scissors. And they decided that Joel was going to take it. So, he would do paper or rock or whatever. They made the rock, paper, scissors go to Joel's favor.
I thought it was brilliant. I thought making that plan out ahead of time was brilliant.
Mitch is a smart cookie. He's really smart. So, I mean, Mitch doesn't want to show his cards yet. So he's he can't
Right.
win HOH, so he has to give it to Joel, and he knows that he can control Joel anyways, so
Right.
it's all good. And then the house goes to shit. Like, is like, have you ever watched the South Park movie and they had that song like Blame Canada? Like, I feel like if you just put Blame Levita in there, like that's just what this week came out to be.
But I don't get why Levita gets all the blame, to be honest. I mean, we know watching the show that Levita wasn't that much of the one, behind things. Like, yes, she kind of is in an alliance with Joel, but she gets a lot of
She does.
shit.
She gets a lot of shit thrown at her. And I mean, if you want to blame anybody for these nominations, you need to blame Mitch. Mitch had a bigger hand in it than Levita. And if you look at Joel's track record with Levita, every time she's been HOH, she's gone against her wishes and voted the person she didn't want out of the
Mm-hmm.
house out of the house. So he's not being controlled by her. And I think these people think that because he's this like cute, lovable guy, that he's not a grown ass man that can make his own decisions. Like that's what I
Right.
like, and I don't know if it's because Joel is just being such a good actor that he makes these people in the house think that he can't manage his own life and
Right.
what he needs to do. Like it just drives me crazy watching on my couch, being like he's the oldest guy in the house.
Yep.
He's not a child, and you guys treat him like he's 19 years old. So I just
Well,
poor Levita got a lot of hate this week because he decided to go after the big guns and went and nominated Kelsey and Raul. And
right. Kelsey, I thought it was interesting with the Kelsey and Raul noms for him. And yes, I know that whatever. We've already talked about it. But I think that the floaters in the middle of the house are all blowing themselves up. And I guess we'll talk more about that as we get more into what's going on, later on as this week
yeah,
goes on.
he's the middle's blowing up, but like, and it's kind of weird that like the third wheel, and I guess they named themselves Cog last week,
Mm-hmm.
but haven't realized that the middle is actually the super alliance in the house right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and no one is even thinking about them. So I find it interesting though that he didn't try to break the showmance up directly. Like I probably would have went with a Jared Kelsey,
Right.
because either way, if one of them wins veto,
Mm-hmm.
one of them can go home.
Right.
But he did. He put up Raul, and like,
Love and kindness says, and Mitch, agreeing with what you said, how Mitch is also influential to
yeah.
Joel. So it's interesting.
So
So yeah, the HOH I thought was brilliant. I loved that Joel got it, and like we said, Noms, Kelsey, and Rail,
Rail. And
Rail.
then the have not competition too this week was amazing. Like you didn't watch much last year, but last year they had a soccer themed one where they were in those big balls
Mm-hmm.
and they had to like tackle each other. So Big Brother does this a lot with sports. So they're all dressed up as like human baseball mitts and
Mm-hmm.
having to catch the balls. And I just it was just so like those ones are so fun to watch. And Trevor Boris, the challenge supervisor, is a genius.
I thought that was constant shoulder pain. When I looked at that, I couldn't imagine having to hold my arms up in the air in that mitt. No. Mm-mm. Hurts my shoulders. Yeah.
You could suck it up. But and you look at the randomly picked teams for this challenge, and they have the alliances together with the middle split between the two teams.
Which again
Like
seems very convenient.
it's just so weird how these draws kind of went this way.
And they never talk about them either on, like they never talk about it on the feeds. Like, at least on our feeds, they say like, oh, we picked the chips or oh, we did stuff. Like the fact that they never, like, I'm saying it's interesting how the house doesn't even talk about, how the pick goes down is interesting.
They're not allowed if that's like a talking about production.
Probably.
Kind of thing. But it was funny to watch Nikki and Tim try to play baseball for the first time. And then Nick loses his cool and throws his bat and like hits.
You mean
Maddie.
Tim?
I'm surprised he didn't get some kind of penalty for that.
You mean Tim's little meltdown?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Tim meltdown was insane. And Lisa MLT says, because the feeds came back 4 hours later and it's been forgotten by then. Yeah, probably. We saw Tim talking to Big Brother on the feeds a little bit after the baseball thing. And he was kind of saying, like, I really apologize. I got too drunk. This is what happens when I get drunk. Big Brother needs to, like, let me know when they see me going down that path. I'm like, Big Brother needs to tell you to stop drinking?
Well, I think he has a problem because earlier on in the season, he was like, I'm not going to, like, week 2, like he's like, I'm not gonna drink anymore, like I kind of have a problem. And I mean, they did give them beer during this challenge, so it's like
right,
kind of. But I think, judging from what I heard in yesterday's live show, like in between the takes, I think they've got a handle on who can handle their liquor and who can't, and now they're gonna be starting to limit their alcohol now. She's like, we kind of like let them go and see how they, because like sometimes they can handle their liquor and sometimes they can't handle their liquor, so we kind of like to see how they go. And so I'm thinking we're going to see a little less liquor flowing.
Della G in the chat says Big Brother did tell him to stop drinking, and Jessica Hardick says, I bet Tim can throw some epic tantrums. I kind of feel like even your Big Brother, quote unquote, limiting their alcohol is a million times more than what they get on our Big Brothers.
Sure.
They pump alcohol into your Canada house, like hardcore pump the alcohol in.
Well, and like in our bottles of beer, like the bottles of beer that they get are huge, and our beer is more potent than yours too. So you have to.
If it's anything like the Sprite, I can't imagine. Giselle says, didn't they get a pizza party today with booze? Great question, Giselle. However, that would be considered a spoiler, and we'll be talking about everything after this week at the end of the show. But great question.
People just need to be glad that the feeds are on this weekend, because notorious for shutting the feeds down for the whole Easter weekend. So you can just be happy you have feeds. And
no, I'm loving the feeds. I have to say, and I don't know who created it, but the BB viewer is amazing. If you guys are in Canada and want a different way to watch the feeds, the BB viewer, it's very convenient, and I like it. I like the BB viewer for watching feeds. It's like crystal clear. It's good. I like it.
Good. We can use it for watching your feeds, I think.
You can, but I think you have to buy a subscription. I know your feeds are free, so it works easier with your feeds, but I think it's a little harder with our feeds because you have to obviously pay to watch our feeds.
Maybe.
But go ahead.
So finally, the red team, there's the red team and the Red Rockets and the Blueberries.
Oh, are we gonna just let that go?
What? About paying?
No, Red Rockets and Blueberries.
Yeah, we're gonna let that go.
Okay, go ahead.
So on the red team, we have, who's the red team again? The red team is Nikki.
I think I have a closer
Phil,
up picture.
Lavita, Maddie. So it's the Maddie Ramsey, Dallas side of the house with Nikki and Phil. And there's one other person I can't remember. And on that side, and then the Blueberries is the third wheel, and you got Tim and Mitch and Cassandra on that one.
Right.
and the blueberries get smoked.
Mm-hmm.
So now Cassandra can possibly be on slop for the third week in a row.
Right.
And I don't know what is going through the red team's mind when they're like, let's be nice to Cassandra and give her food. Like, you need her weak.
Mm-hmm.
So they let Cassandra off.
It
And
was Nikki, wasn't it? Wasn't it Nikki who was like, I don't want Cassandra to starve?
yeah, she's like, Cassandra deserves food. And so then they decide that it's going to be Cassandra and Mitch that they save. And I'm not too upset about Mitch having food. I'm good with that. But I think Cassandra needs another week in that room just to break her spirit. And
You are not a Cassandra fan.
I actually don't mind her. I find her funny,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. I don't know. I don't need her to win, but
I don't need her to win either, but I don't
she can
hate her.
stay because I do find her funny.
Right.
Except she uses the word bitch a lot, and she needs to stop that.
Yeah.
That's my only thing, but we can get into that later on her.
Got it.
And then, so we go into veto. Oh my gosh, this veto. I'm sure you were loving this veto, Eric.
Oh, the cowboy veto?
Yes.
Yes. Loved this.
I chose the picture. I chose.
Well, go ahead. I'm going to bring this one up first, and then I'll bring up yours just because I have it ready. So that's the little rodeo comp.
They have to get on this horse and pull it down the railroad track with themselves on it, and then they have to dig for bags and then go back. And in the bags are playing cards, and they have to get the best poker hand. So this would have been like a great Vanessa challenge for last year.
Uh-huh.
Great Kevin challenge for BB Can 2.
Yep.
But yeah, there's Eric's Team Hot on some horses.
Mm-hmm.
So you died. And like the thing is, like, Jared gets on his thing, he's like, I'm a cowboy, I got this. He's like, bam, bam, boom, like he's on the ground.
Pretty much anytime anybody starts talking about how great they are at something in the edit, that's when we know it's gonna flip the other way.
Yeah. So he has a hard, like, Jared has a hard time with his cow. But then, like, in the interesting thing about this is in these cards you got some wild card punishment cards, and then you get some reward cards. So Jared he's got like 2 6s and something, and then he gets this wild card, but it's can't compete in the HOH competition. And he's like, I'm pretty sure if I don't compete in this HOH that somebody else is going to win. I'm like, you're pretty sure someone else is going to win if you don't compete? I'm like, I'm about 1,000% sure if you don't compete, someone else is going to win this, honey. Like,
right.
I can't watch Jared's DRs. Like, his DRs kill me.
What did you say he was having trouble with before? You said Jared was having trouble with what in the comp?
His horse?
Oh, I thought you said his cow.
No, his horse.
Oh, okay. Well,
is it a cow?
I think you said cow, which I was gonna say that's just not nice to call Kelsey that, but go ahead. Pretty sure you said cow.
No, I didn't say cow. Oh my gosh. So he gives up his wild card and goes in search of something else, and he can't find anything. Dallas gets a punishment of
being a big prick
for a few days, and not even a few days, 24 hours. I hate that it's only 24 hours. And then
well, now wait. Before we even move on from this Dallas is a big prick challenge or this big point, I have a serious question for you. There's so much wrong with Canada, and I feel like every week we just learn some stupid ass ketchup chip thing or poutine. This week I've learned that Canada thinks cactuses are gray, Dana. A cactus is green. So can you alert your fellow Canadians that cactuses are green? Are there no cactuses in Canada?
In the garden store. Do you want me to tweet Lisa, the costume designer?
Yeah, I would tweet her and go, honey, it's green. Dye it. Go to the craft store, get some of the RIT dye, and
you know what? The girl that does the costumes is also the girl that's responsible for dressing Arissa every week.
Well, colorblind.
So I am just happy that Arissa comes out looking fabulous every week. So I don't care what the cactus looks like. As long as Arissa looks amazing every week, then this cactus can. Maybe he's a dying cactus.
Maybe she's colorblind.
Have you seen Arissa's clothes? She's not colorblind. Come on.
I don't know, that whole yellow romper room thing that she was wearing the other week. I was like, what's going
I
on?
love that dress. What are you talking about?
No, it looked like she was 5 going to her best friend's party. Looked like she should have walked out with a lollipop skipping.
You know what it was? And I don't know if like she does this kind of intuitively or whatever, but Arissa's kind of dressed as the house guest that leaves every week.
Oh,
Like week
really?
one, she was wearing like this like cute little young like flowy thing. Like when she came on stage, she's like, "I'm late for Coachella, everybody," and Paige was evicted. So it was like this young look, and Paige was evicted. Then like week two, she had like this sexy look on with that purple dress, and Shari was evicted. And then she was wearing like 50s housewife week three, and Christine was evicted. And then this
Mm.
week she was wearing like kind of like tight, nice dress, and Kelsey was evicted.
Everyone, I think Dana is on to something this. Even Miss Don Draper says, interesting point, Dana. Good eye. Let's all, I don't think I have ever heard anybody even talk about that. So, yeah, we need to, I think we can all tweet her that and ask her it next Thursday. So, what would she have to wear this Thursday to look like Kelsey? Like a prostitution outfit? Like the high
Well,
skirt?
like some like she was kind of dressed like Kelsey this week, like no sleeves, tight, kind of like that's kind of like how Kelsey dresses, and
Mm,
same thing with Levita too. I think like Levita would have kind of been in a nice dress had she had any inkling that she was leaving the house this week too.
mm-hmm. I
So
like it.
yeah, I just and the week Paige was evicted, she was wearing that bright blue color, and if you watch the eviction, like the vote back, every girl that voted for Paige to leave the house was wearing that color.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Hmm. I think you're on to something, Dana. We should have kept that under our hat and made it like a trivia question. Should have made it like a little trivia question.
I know. I guess it's like it just kind of like she's dressing like the house guest that is probably gonna leave, and
Giselle wants to know then if Levita ends up going, will she wear a hat or a beanie? If she comes out in a
she will
hat,
never wear anything on her head. Never.
but if she does, then oh my god, you nailed it.
Well, I told her like I found a picture of Arissa last year. She was wearing this like white leopard print dress, and I'm
Hmm.
like, when Christine was evicted, like you should have just like ran backstage, threw that on, and like done your like 2 second interview in this leopard dress.
I love
It
it.
would have been perfect.
Oh my god. Tang Lang in the chat room says, "What is she gonna wear when Dallas gets evicted? Probably a white T-shirt,
Wife beater.
a wife beater." When Levita ends up going, if not when, yes, 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 sword owner Shady, we get it. You hate her.
What's with all the Levita? Oh my gosh, I can't.
I know so many people hate her.
I love her.
I have to say, I was kind of thrilled that Dallas won
Yeah.
the POV. Were you?
I was like, oh my god, he's gonna use it. But then I'm like, at first I was like, okay, he's definitely gonna use it, but I didn't understand why he would
Mm-hmm.
with two people that he wants gone out of the house. Like Joel's nominations were pretty solid, so I mean, yeah, you could take one down and hope to God he would put up Jared, but I think he tries to get that to happen, but when he realizes it's not, he just kind of gives it up because then you don't know who's going to go on the block. Like Joel has only option is to do the middle, which are on your side, or do somebody that is on your side. And at this point, you can't lose your numbers.
Right.
So he doesn't use it, which is an unprecedented fourth week in a row.
He's all talk. He's big prick cactus of talkiness. He's a big talky pricky cactus of talk.
Yes, he's all talk, no action. And that picture just kills me. Like I just love it. Like
I love it too.
he's kind of a cute cactus. Like I have to give Dallas props for just he's fun. Like he's crude and he's rude and he touches his balls a lot, but he's funny. Like he makes me laugh when he's not doing that. Like fart in a jar, not so funny, but like
Mm-hmm.
his DRs are probably the most entertaining DRs
Right.
we get besides Tim and Nikki. So like we have a lot of wooden DRs this year.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not really seeing anything good from like like they're not showing Ramsey too much, so I don't really know what his DRs are like. But like Jared, I can't watch.
There was a good conversation between Ramsey and Mitch the other day, and I'm surprised that they cut it. They were just like talking about religion and how like different, obviously, Ramsey is being a Muslim versus Mitch being gay, but it was like a really positive dialogue that I was like, this would never happen on our live feeds. And it went on for a while, but literally the second I tweeted, this is an amazing conversation, this would never happen on our feeds, they cut the conversation.
Yeah, that happened too. Like, because he was having a conversation with who was he having a conversation with? He was talking to somebody a few weeks ago about it, and I was all over because like I love like listening to two people kind of debate religion and do it respectfully
Right.
and whatever. And I was living for this conversation, and Skippy on the feeds decides, no, I need to like look at Dallas or something, and I'm like, why? And I'm just like, oh,
whatever.
but yeah, I don't know why, and I don't know if it's because they feel like maybe they've already done that with Adele and Kyle, like they've kind of already done that storyline of the Muslim that kind of brings in the white guy and prays and stuff like that, because you don't see much of that interaction with Ramsey. But I'd like to see a segment on the show. Maybe it'll be like on a sideshow thing.
Maybe
Production, if you're watching, like let's.
Yeah, I was disappointed in our Dallas. I think he 100% should have used that veto, but he didn't. Obviously, keeping nominations the same. Now, I will full on admit, the feed thing for me crapped out yesterday. When with this whole duck thing. I don't understand this whole Maddie with the duck and Kelsey, and I don't get it. Can you explain it?
The duck is Maddie's. Maddie brought that duck into the house with her.
Okay.
And Kelsey and Maddie don't like each other.
Right.
So Kelsey's last like sword in the side is, I'm gonna take your fucking duck. But so that's kind of where that went. That was like yeah, she's just trying to stick it to Maddie. That was like her. She's like, every day I woke up trying to be nice to her, and every day she woke up and be mean to me. So this is just my way of doing it. Before we get to that, like, let's talk about their campaign strategy. Like, these two people, like, their campaign strategy was just to not bother and let it be up
recruits.
And
recruits.
Yeah, like, it's just, and like, so like Mitch is campaigning on behalf of Raul, and Cassandra's campaigning on behalf of Kelsey, and the showmances are blowing up in the house. It's like, what happened? Like, you kind of saw Kelsey and Jared have a little bit of a fight where Jared was like, I'm gonna vote out Kelsey, which Shari and I called that last week. Like, eventually he's just gonna want to kick her to the curb because he doesn't want to deal with her anymore.
Right.
But like the green-eyed monster reared his ugly head because she's all over Phil, and he's like, yeah, let's just get her out of here. She's weakening my game. But then they kissed and made up. And
Lisa in the chat room says Kelsey only admitted to watching 3 or 4 episodes of Big Brother Canada 3. We can tell.
But you know who else? He's not a recruit. I think he did try out, but Ramsey hadn't watched the show before either.
I can tell.
But Ramsey's playing a good game.
Is he?
Up until like this week. Like, he wasn't on anybody's radar. He was doing okay up until this gummy bear business. But
we have so much to, like, we need to get into the spoiler section. I have so much, and Ramsey is one of the people I'm talking about when we get into our spoiler section. But yeah. So go ahead.
So yeah, so like they're not campaigning. They got people campaigning for them, and it's just like, leaving it up to fate. And I'm just sitting there like wanting to strangle them because there are so many people that would kill to be in that situation
Mm-hmm.
and would like fight for their life to be in there. And I'm not saying that they need to go out and smear each other and be like, oh my God, but you need to fight for yourself. And if you want to win $100,000, then you need to like
You need to fight for it
step
more.
it up. And I just,
Well,
I don't
they
know.
didn't.
They didn't. And like, yeah, so
So not surprisingly, Kelsey went home.
Kelsey went home. And it
Bye,
was kind of
Kelsey, and
like
your
hit or
dad.
miss for a while. Like, it went back and forth throughout the week. Who was going to go home and who was going to stay. But
I think it.
she's the bigger threat. I mean, that was the right choice.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have week 4 and we have
Well, wait
girls.
1 second. Before we do that, I mean, yes, we need to get into the double elimination, but I just want to say, because this is another thing about your Big Brother Canada, going back to that roping cowboy, whatever, somewhere Shelley lost her mind over this shit. The fact that Rail, his challenge was essentially this. And he was like, oh, 1,000 times? I don't want to do it 1,000 times. This is so hard. Holy shit. Freaking Shelly, who had to like stab the thing and run across the yard and knock the pole off and bend over and put it down and drown herself in a pool and swing on a rope and monkey bar across and do backflips and stab knights. And he's just like, oh, I had to do this
Or
1,000
never mind Shelly. What about poor Brittany who had to kick a soccer goal 3,000 times? Like,
But I feel like Shelley's was more reminiscent or more along the same
yeah.
lines.
But, I mean, it wasn't a hard challenge. It was,
No.
but it's Rail.
It's
and,
Rail.
He's just there to be pretty. So.
Well, you're right. When he said that, I was like, you got it. Yep.
Yeah, you're doing your job sometimes when you put your hair up in that
Mm-hmm. He's ridiculous.
samurai thing. It's like
Mm,
it's bad, but yeah,
ridiculous.
he didn't like his punishment, and then and Kelsey won $1,000
And Kelsey won $1,000.
in
Yeah.
that veto because she's like, I have no hand, I might as well take the money, which I would have too.
Well, yes. So now, can I just say how, because if we're going into the double elimination, we knew at this point, and I'm pretty sure I took a picture of it, but Arissa, and it kind of was at the start of the episode, explained to us, the viewer, about the little secret suite thing. But I loved when Kelsey was finally evicted and she's just sitting there and Arissa's like, well, your game might not be over yet, Kelsey. And Kelsey was just like, huh?
Whatever. Yeah.
She did that face like, what? What are you talking about? What is it? I can't. I can't.
The Kelsey reactions throughout this whole show are like, this is the reason people don't like Kelsey. Like, this is why.
We also can't ignore the best part of Kelsey being evicted, which was Tim and the side pony. In his goodbye message.
I love that. Oh my god, he is the best.
He's the best. He is the best.
Like, that guy.
Okay, so sure. Let's now jump into this double eviction.
Double elimination. We get new HOH. Of course, it's a quiz because it's got to be done quickly, but this is the quiz that kind of exposes your alliances and who you don't want to win and blah, blah, blah. So Tim and Nikki randomly drew first. Imagine that. And so, like, Nikki's, like, I don't think Nikki even knows where she is half the time, regardless, not even what comp she's playing. So
Exactly.
Nikki's out first. But the interesting part of this competition is nobody even knew Mitch was there. Like, this is kind of where you first see, like, Ramsey might be on someone's radar because he was picked a few times.
Mm-hmm.
But Mitch literally made it to the last person,
Mm-hmm.
and there was no other choice before he had to walk up to that.
Right.
Yeah. And so it comes down to Mitch and Maddie. And without even seeing a DR, like, I am going to call this right now, Mitch threw this to Maddie. 100% threw this to Maddie because Maddie had a backdoor plan in mind, and Mitch knew about it, and Mitch was on board with it, and Mitch did not want to get his hands dirty.
I agree.
Like, I think when you see it on Sunday's episode, he'll be like, yep, I threw it to Maddie. Like,
Yeah.
100%. Because he sat there going, no. Like, you knew the answer to that question. Come on, you just played that HOH.
Yeah, Mitch is being brilliant in what he is doing. I was not surprised he threw that at all.
Yeah. So Maddie's HOH, she looks a little shocked by it. Like, I was shocked by it. Like, we're all like, Maddie? Like, what happened here? And so she throws up
Jared and Rael.
And Rael, yeah.
Look, disclaimer, everyone, if you're new, we're all aware it's Raul. Please don't send me emails. You also don't need to DM us. We are aware his name is Raul. For these comedic recap purposes, his name will be Rael for the rest of the season. Thank you. I don't need any more emails correcting me that I'm calling him Rael.
I tweeted Big Brother Canada. I'm like, I would just be in seventh heaven if their announcer just one time said Rael instead of Raul. Like,
they tweeted it. They tweeted Rael. I didn't save the tweet, but they did tweet something and it said Rael in it.
Like, I just want the announcer, like, in like the recap part of the show, to say the word Rael instead of Raul. Like, just let's just acknowledge what.
I think he will. What I want to know from you, Dana, and what I would like to know from the chat room, so how can we do this? I want a number 1 if you think it is fair, and a number 2, or let's not say fair, a number 1 if you liked it, and a number 2 if you didn't like it. Dana, what did you think about the fact that they basically gave Maddie 20 seconds to make her noms and didn't let her talk to anybody else? She basically had 20 seconds, which is the complete opposite of what happens in our Big Brother. They get at least 5 minutes and a commercial break to talk to their alliance, get cornered, pressured. So I personally, I didn't like it. Did you like it?
I loved it. I love when someone has to think for themselves and can't be influenced. I wish that each HOH could just pull themselves up in their room and not be bombarded by everything else in the house and let them think. Like, because if I was HOH, that's what I would do. Me and her name is I Am Erica on Twitter. We kind of had this Twitter banter. Like, we would be pushing furniture up against the HOH doors for the first night, because I hate when like you win a HOH and then all of a sudden it's like, whoosh, you're my best friend and everyone is in your ear. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna have a shower. I'm going to pee in peace. I'm going to lay in a comfortable bed, and you all can fuck off for the night. Like, that would be me on my HOH night. I will come out in the morning, and we can talk all you want, but I want this, like, next 12 hours to be about me being comfortable.
Well, you better have a lot of fun that week, because it'll be your last week. Maximus' mom did not like it. Overwhelming, it seems like most of the chat room all loved it. Social Mari, Abby, RJ Mitchell, Janice, Rhonda, Sandy, Nastasia, Flippin' Skittle, Giselle, Miss Andre Burr, you guys all loved it. It only much seems like Redheaded Michelle, Patty, I saw a few other people that were on my side that did not like it.
I just think, I think Maddie had a plan going in too, because when you watch the episode, it's like, she had a plan going in. Dallas was not on board with it. Dallas did not like the idea of getting rid of Jared. She tried to go to Raul at first and be like, listen, I have a plan. And at first he didn't want to talk to her. And she's like, no, I have a backdoor plan. Like, you're not going anywhere. And then finally he kind of listened to her. But the problem with Maddie's plan was it's too early. Like, you have a group of people that are trying, to do what you want to do. And you just got rid of the one girl that will compete, that will win challenges.
Right.
And you're getting rid of another girl. 5 evictions, 5 girls. It's ridiculous how these girls are just dropping like flies.
It's gonna be sausage fest in that house.
It's going to be, and it's just this was the week to get out the Jared or the Raul, like, because Jared is on nobody's radar. Like,
Mm-hmm.
people don't like third wheel, but they all love Jared.
Right.
So
Right.
they're picking off his allies in like in hopes that they'll become Jared's new best friend. Like that's why Phil didn't want Kelsey in the house because he's like, I can be Kelsey,
Mm-hmm.
and like
Well,
it's crazy. And like,
I have so
and
much.
also, I mean, once you find out about the secret suite, don't you like? I was like, oh god, Jared can't go because I can't have them in a room.
Oh God, yeah, that was yeah. Well, let's jump to the POV, which I have to say, call me crazy. I did not think this was happening. I was like, how are they doing this and still going to be able to do it and vote people out? For some reason, I thought this POV would take like an hour at least to complete. Roller skating with your legs tied together across the floor and filling a beaker. But I guess
But if you think about it, that beaker's already pretty much full. Like,
Right. Yeah.
it's a long, skinny tube, so you're not filling up a big bowl like that. Like normally, that's the challenge in where
Mm-hmm.
you're on like that slippery shit, and
Mm-hmm.
you have to fill a big bowl up, right?
Right.
So this is just a skinny,
Yeah.
skinny thing. But I mean, it was no contest. Like Nick was having no issues with that, and
And
he,
one.
yeah, he wins veto. And like it's kind of funny where like Phil's the I'm playing the game and you need to shut up and listen, but shut up and listen has won the only challenges that the brothers have won. So
Mm-hmm.
Phil needs to shut his mouth because without Nick, you ain't winning shit.
What Mom of Twins says, didn't Rail put the punch in the bowl instead of the tube? Did he do that? Did I miss that? I,
He might
I
have.
wouldn't be
I
surprised.
wouldn't so remember, he's just pretty.
Oh my God, he so is Kristen from Real Housewives of New York. I'm pretty. Like that's it. That's so real. Like, put it in the punch bowl. There's punch over here, and it's gonna put it in.
Put on up top with that kid, so
Oh God, I can't.
you just want him in your room, don't you?
Rail? No, I don't want rail at all. Oh goodness.
You want him.
Fair Heather asked a good question. I don't want it to get too far away. Do you know, Dana, or maybe someone in the chat room knows, did Maddie get a letter like, our big brother, if you are the HOH during a double elimination, which means, you're not getting an HOH room and all that stuff, does your big brother usually give them a basket, a letter from home, stuff
Yeah,
like
they get that stuff. You might not see it, but you'll probably see it on like a Sunday show.
Gotcha.
But yeah, they do give them a little something. I would hope they would.
Got it.
But yeah, it's Nick finally, week 5, we finally get a veto used.
We do. Let's talk more about that veto comp for a minute.
Uh,
Um, uh, I, the disco-ness of it. What was I going to say? I had one other point I wanted to make about it. You said, yes, the brothers won. Rail putting the punch in. More people falling, I would think.
Poor Joel. Poor Joel fell so much. Like, luckily Joel was on the end, so that the people on the benches were kind of reaching out to catch him. But I mean, 6'4" on roller skates, like your center of gravity is way up high. It's not the comp for you.
Right. It is not. It's not when it's doing that. It's not.
Yeah. So like, poor Joel was out of it. And Tim was doing pretty well. Maddie was sucking like hard, and she even said, she's like, I ain't winning this challenge, so someone else better.
Right. Okay, so after the HOH comp, I mean not HOH comp, after the POV comp, I was floored, Dana. I was floored. I did not see this coming at all. I did not think Phil was using that POV.
Really? You didn't think
No.
POV?
No. Why would you use the POV? Like, it's over. Let Maddie have all the blood on her hands. Be like, it's up to her. What did he care if Rael or Jared went home?
Because Phil has a man crush on Jared. You're not going to let Jared go home. Phil wants to be Jared's number 2.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I must have missed that on the feeds.
I didn't hear Maddie say Levita's name as her backdoor plan throughout this. She might have whispered it to Jared, because I know she did whisper something to Jared, but like I didn't hear her say it to Raul. I don't know if she said it to Nick. I did hear her kind of talk about it with Dallas. But if someone comes up to you and says, I have a backdoor plan, and your man crush is sitting on the block, you're not going to take him off?
Well, he did.
So, yeah, like, it's because it was Jared, and Phil wants to be in with Jared, and so she puts up Loveita, which is the stupidest move Maddie could have made, because Loveita would have done the dirty work. Mm-hmm. Loveita would have put those two up. Loveita would have been the one that's hit, because she's got nothing to lose. She is always going to be your meat shield as long as you keep her in that house. If she doesn't win, she's always going to be in jeopardy as long as, like, Joel doesn't win HOH. So it was it was such a stupid move to do it so early on in the game. Like, I just smack her.
Question from Miss Don Draper for you. Was there ever a big plan in place to backdoor Loveita that we know for sure? Like, do we know that there was any plan of...
Maddie did have a plan, because she pulled up Raul and went, I have a backdoor plan. I don't know if she ever communicated to Raul that it was Loveita. Mm-hmm. And even right after she won, before they even went into the house, she was talking to Dallas, and they were arguing about whether it was the right decision, because Dallas was not behind this. Dallas was like, we need her in this game. We need her to be able to do things for us that we can't do ourselves, because at least if Loveita is doing the dirty work, then we can kind of keep our relationships with these people civil. And
so all the more reason that I'm correct, and it was a stupid move. They should not have used it.
No, it was too early. It was too early. If you want to backdoor somebody, like backdoor like a Cassandra, because Cassandra is a number on that side,
right?
So backdoor that number, like backdoor the number on that side. Don't backdoor the number that's on your side. Not week 4.
Right. It made no sense. Keep your number
solid until you get to jury, and then you start if you want to pick her off week 1 so that she doesn't win, then pick her off week 1. But
yeah, it is. It was crazy, and then not surprisingly, with the crazy, Loveita's gone.
It's gone.
Girl, bye.
And oh my God, just the difference between the eviction of like Kelsey and Loveita were night and day. Like, Loveita is so well spoken, and she's got so much to say, and she's so classy. And like, I mean, she's like spent 4 weeks in hell there. Like, nobody was telling her. Even the people that were in her group were going against her. Like, Joel, her closest ally, would vote not the way she wanted. Mitch, you thought she had him in her pocket, but then he was going over and telling all the information. Like, that girl had nobody after Shari left she could trust in that game. And she just got crap thrown at her week after week after week. And she's out there, and she like smiling and like so happy, and just like...
Yeah. She was... it's a night and day. Amber...
And she's so cute. Oh my God, she is the cutest, tiniest little thing.
Amber 619 in the chat room says she was not bitter. It was so nice. Tim said something I thought was very profound in a way on the feeds after, which this isn't spoiler. He was just commenting on Loveita's exit, and he said that Loveita that we just saw walk out of the house was like an honorable and compassionate and friendly person. That was a different Loveita than what we saw in here. Like, where was that Loveita during the game? Which I thought was... I don't necessarily agree with him, but I liked that he gave her credit, because I feel like all anybody did on the feeds was just rip Loveita apart all the time. So I liked Tim at least giving her credit in that moment to the house.
Exactly. And I don't think it was a different Loveita. I think Loveita said a million times. She's like, I don't do well in crowds. I'm not good at a bunch of people coming at me. But like when you see her with Joel, she was always compassionate, always caring with Joel. When you saw her alone with Mitch, with
Hmm.
Shari, the people that were her people, that was how Levita was. Like she
Right.
was never a mean person. She never said anything bad about anybody. They
Right.
just didn't like what she was doing in the house and
Hmm.
translated into she's an awful person. Like,
And to your point, exactly what you said, I showed the picture of Kelsey when Arissa was like, "Oh, you might get to go play again," or whatever she said, and Kelsey's like, no, "The rocks aren't sparking." And when she said it to Levita, Levita's like, "Woo, party time!"
yeah,
She's like, "I'm ready
like
to go back in and play
exactly.
again."
She's like, woo, woo. Like she was just so excited. And that's what a Big Brother fan is. A Big Brother fan will get like chop their right arm off to get back in that house.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wish Johnny was here, like Johnny from last season was here, because I mean he went through that same thing. Like you tell someone tells you your Big Brother life might not be over, you grab hold of that and you like do everything you can. And there was a thing, I don't want to let it get too far about. They had to walk through the audience to get to the secret room. And did anybody yell anything? No, nobody yelled anything at them. There are publicists like 2 feet away.
There's so much I wish we could say.
Yeah, no one said anything to them. It was done in like 10 seconds. Like they were like, boom, boom, gone. I mean, if we wanted to scream at them, we could have screamed at them when they were on the stage. We don't have to wait for them to walk through the audience. Like,
And that's it's the same exact thing as when when we have the wall yellers on our Big Brother, or people screaming over Skywriters. It's easy to get in their heads either way. Like, it doesn't matter. My point is, I would assume production would just say to them, how do you know? Like, let's say somebody was like, Maddie, Jared is gonna backstab you. Well, I'm sure production would just be like, how do you know that's somebody that doesn't hate you and is saying it on purpose
yeah,
to me?
exactly.
It doesn't matter what anybody screams, is my
Yeah, I
point.
mean, they're on stage for a while
Hmm.
that you don't even see. So, I mean, we could, like, especially Levita. Levita was on stage for quite a bit because, like, they filmed her little interview package and then normally they whisk them away.
Hmm.
But because she needed to be standing there anyways, like, there's always a person that meets them off to the side, like, one of their, like, to decompress them once they get off.
Right.
He actually came onto the stage. So she was on stage for like a good 10-15 minutes. If we wanted to yell at her, we could have yelled anything to her.
Giselle says things which should be yelled. Derek is a cop. Helen was pushed. Those are all appropriate things to yell. Now, don't give the answer to this question yet, Dana, because I would say we should probably talk about it in the spoiler section. But I don't want to forget. So, Virgo Baker says, did you find out, being there, being in the audience, do we know the way they're going to determine who comes back in the game?
No, they didn't say anything to us.
Okay, so there you go.
I have my theories, but they didn't actually.
All right, well then,
People would ask, and they're like, "Oh, you'll have to find out next week." They don't tell us anything that you don't really know. Like I get a little more detail, maybe, or I get like a little.
well, what is your theory? So, in chat, I
It's
want
gonna
to know
be.
what the chat room thinks too. But what's
I
your
think it's gonna
theory?
be a comp because if it was a vote, we'd already be voting for it.
Okay.
So I think it's gonna be a competition of some kind. I don't know.
You don't think they would wait until tomorrow? Because, like, technically, if we look at this episode, it didn't end with picking an HOH the way a normal episode would have ended on a Thursday night. So, technically, the events haven't ended yet. I could see them at the end of Sunday night, which that episode, I guess, will end on us finding out the HOH. Then say lines are open to vote for who you want to come back in.
Yeah, that could. I don't know if it's going to be a vote though.
Um,
I really don't. Like it seems a little weird for me for that to
oh,
be a vote.
Sword Art or Shady in the chat room says, my theory is whoever gets evicted this week gets to pick between Levita and Kelsey who they want to go back in the house. That would be interesting.
That could be interesting. Or I think it'd be interesting if it's a three-way competition between whoever gets voted out this week and the two that were sitting in the room.
I like that too. I do like that. I like that one too. I can see voting the 3 days prior to evict to next Thursday, says Wheelie Girl. Yes. Well, let's talk for a second about them being on the stage, like Dana, like you said, with them walking through the audience, going back, finding their room.
Can I just say that picture,
Right?
there was a chill in the room. Like,
Why?
honest to God, Kelsey was just like,
The devil? We know.
oh my gosh. Like, they walked out, and Arissa was like, I think I need a warm shower. Like, I'm cold right now. Like,
Did
just
she
chill.
literally say that?
Yes. Like, I'm like, do you need a sweater? Like, yeah, it was chilly. Like, you could sense the tension, like, just between the two of them. And, like, Kelsey had to walk past me, like, to get back on, like, to get off and on the stage. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I was sitting. She had to, like, walk right past me. It's like, oh, here's a cool breeze. Like, she was just, she's a that girl.
Well,
And this was the most awkward thing. Like, I just,
look, I want to debate this with you. We're showing the suite again. Those of you that only maybe listen to the podcast, another reason you want to watch it on our website or watch it live or download the video feed on iTunes. You can see all the pictures of everything we're talking about during the show. But here's what I want to say about this, Dana. Now, they were very clear, and yes, I see some people in the chat room asking. Arissa said they will be able to see all the time,
yeah.
hear sometimes, and influence the game, and she wasn't specific on what influence the game means. So, whatever. Chat room, I want number one, if you think that is fair, and you don't get to pick one, so that's their whole situation. One, do you think it's fair? Two, do you think it's not fair? Do you think it's fair, Dana, before I say what I think?
Sure, it's Big Brother. It's not fair. Like, that's...
Wait, sure it's fair, it's not fair?
I mean, no, it's fair that they can do it, because in the concept of Big Brother, there is no fair. Like, Big Brother can twist any way you want. You can say, is it fair that, you know, because they did this kind of last in season 2, where they had 3 people in the war room, which was the high rollers this year, that got to watch everything that happened for like 2 weeks and then came into the game. Like, is that fair to the people in the house? Not so much, but in the concept of Big Brother, everything is fair. So sure, why not? Like, I don't think...
It's so hard because you know I am always the one that will to the death argue and always say exactly what you're saying of, no, there is no fair in Big Brother and everything can happen and it's a game and da-da-da-da. But I still feel like there are, and it seems from what I just saw with the chat room, it is split. It seems to be the chat room is also split down the middle. I think there are core things that should never be affected in the game of Big Brother, and I think your game should always, like, then why do we have diary room? If we're gonna let everyone hear what everyone else is thinking, then let's not even have the diary room then. And granted, I know it's not all the time and it's only selective times, but I think the one thing that should be sacred in Big Brother is nobody should have the ability to eavesdrop on other people's conversations. That's my only problem with it.
I don't know, because that's what happened in season 2. Is like, they had a TV, they could hear it some of the time, they could hear it, but I don't think any of their influence is going to be anything that's game changing for any one person.
I don't either.
So I mean, and Big Brother is controlling what they can hear. So, like, just before we went live, I was watching the suite feed. And there was they were watching a conversation between Mitch and Joel, and they were like, please, Big Brother, this is the conversation we want to hear. Like,
yeah.
And Big Brother wouldn't turn it on.
Right. They let that. We'll talk more about that in the spoilers.
But like God knows what Big Brother is gonna let them listen to. Like maybe Big Brother's just gonna let them listen to them party.
Well, I know one thing
So
they've already listened to. Um, let me ask you this. We pretty much covered all the recappy stuff from the past week. Is there anything else we need to touch on that? Not
no,
really, right? All right, let me say this. If you guys are watching and you don't want spoilers, I don't feel like we're giving you a lot of spoilers. The only thing, and I'm not going to start talking, I'll give you time to leave. The only thing that has really happened is we know who the HOH is, and we're suspecting we know who the noms will be. They have not been done yet. So if you listen to the rest of this podcast, you're only going to hear who the HOH is and the interesting way he's saying he is gonna pick the noms. So if you don't want to hear those things, you can leave now. And again, before you leave, just remember, if you would like to help us get into the backyard to live stream the interviews for you guys on finale night, check out yourrealityrecaps.com/Canada and read how you can go about doing that. We would love any help you could. And now get
yeah.
the hell out if you don't want to hear spoilers.
But before we get to spoilers, I think someone here said hit it right on the head. Like the most unfair thing is the information that they get to each other. And if you watched the sideshow last night, Sarah and Peter kind of reiterated this point where these two, regardless of whether or not they like each other, only one of them is going to re-enter the game, so they need to use each other. They need to get every kind of information they can get from each other about what was going on in that house, the truth of the like everything that happened. Like now is the time just to lay it on the table, let bygones be bygones, tell each other what you know, who's doing what, open each other's eyes so that you can go in there knowing what's going on. Like, and I think that is the most valuable information you can go in with. Like,
well, Levita is the smart one to do that. I don't think Kelsey is smart enough. I think it was Giselle that said that in the chat room. And yeah.
well, Levita did say to her, like, on the episode, like, we need to use each other. Like, since one of us is going back in, maybe I should just start telling you stuff now. And she's like, just like, Kelsey, get over yourself. Like,
yeah, XOXO Feedsters in the chat room, who has kind of become like my unofficial live feed source on Twitter, says Levita's read on the house is garbage. Kelsey is clueless, and she still gets those relationships more. So maybe Levita's not getting it. I tend to believe what XOXO Feedster says.
well,
okay.
That's why Levita needs Kelsey, because she needs Kelsey to kind of like show her where things were. And like, I don't think Levita really realizes what a snitch Mitch has been to her. So she needs that information to go back into that house. And
I don't think it's in production's best interest for Levita to go back in that house. I think if there's any way they can do it, they're gonna want a Kelsey going back in that house. That's what I think will happen.
I can't.
That's what I think will happen.
Ooh, they're on to Mitch after today, says Maximus Mom.
Oh, well, let's start talking about today, because I have to say so here you go. We're going to tell you who won the HOH. It was Tim. Oh, and by the way, Dana, just would like to point out.
Oh, God.
Team Hot. Now, this is last week's. I didn't bring up this week's yet, but I should have showed this on the show.
Yes, I get it.
It helped that I picked all guys. But, yeah, once again, we're going to have another person out on either your team or Johnny's team that will be Kelsey or Levita. And once again, my team is HOH.
Well, poor Johnny's team, no one's been HOH on his team. It's been going... I've had 3 out of the 5, so... And my people are still going home because my
team
catty bitches can't work together. So
don't pick the girls. This is why you should judge a book by its cover. If there was ever a case for why you should judge a book by its cover, that's it.
Yes. Like, yeah, so Tim is HOH, which
Do we know how that happened? Do we
it
know?
was a tiebreaker. It must have been a quiz because they had to go down to it was a numbers thing. So whoever got closest to the right number of like it was probably like how many seconds were in a challenge or something.
Mm-hmm.
It and it was between oh god, I forget who it was between, but yeah, it was he got closest to the number. So it was a quiz for sure.
I will Yes, it was a quiz, and let me just let people know quickly again on our website. If you go to our BB Can website where you can get all of our shows and blogs and everything Big Brother Canada, we have like the current standings. So this is the current standings. We show them two in the suite. But again, if you click this little red link, boom, you will get the pop-up to find out what the actual current standings are in the house. And all right, I might have taken a little liberty to lock in who the noms were, but we'll get there. So Tim won HOH and then proceeded to do what I think is one of the most genius strategic moves ever.
Yeah.
He told the house he is going to make noms the way BB Australia made noms, which BB Australia, everybody gets 5 votes, and you can put your 5 votes on whoever you want. And that's kind of how they determine the nominees. Although I think I think Australia has 5 nominees each week. And granted, then America votes. The way Tim came up with it was he said everyone is going to get 5 koala bears, and you can divide them up how you want among 2 people, or you can put all 5 on yourself. And then he was like, and this isn't about strategy. I don't want to know about strategy. I don't care about strategy. I don't want to make this a weird thing. I want it to be fun. So just say for whatever personal reasons, like they smell, they chew too loudly, whatever your personal reason is that you don't like them, that's what I want you to tell me when you decide how many gummy bears the person is getting. Genius. Because obviously people are just going to make their strategic reasons be the reason. So now, not only is Tim finding out the strategic reason of why each person in the house wants a specific person to go home, he also has found out the personal reason that each individual person wants whoever they want to go home via this gummy bear, gummy koala setup, which is very reminiscent of Vanessa's Skittles, Derek's candy, Danny Donato, Kevin. So many people have done this candy chart, but it was brilliant. What did you think of it?
I think it was him being a coward. I think he just didn't want to take sides. So he's like, you decide the noms. I think, but that aside, I think the people in the house were stupid because Dallas was like, just nominate me, just put me. Like, why didn't you sit there with your alliance and go, okay, let's split our votes this way so we can guarantee that the people we want on the block are on the freaking block? Like, that's what I don't get. Like, Dallas basically put 5 gummy bears on himself. Like, are you stupid? Like,
but Dallas was trying to be the hero. Dallas was trying to be like, we're not playing Big Brother Australia. I'm sorry, I was talking way too clearly. He was like, no, he was saying, we're not playing Big Brother Australia. We're playing Big Brother Canada, so we're not going to play his game. Everybody vote for me. Let's not make this a popularity contest. Put it all on me, and then everybody do one vote on somebody else. This way nobody's feelings gets hurt, and I can put my wife beater back on and
all right,
not
then you won't be playing Big Brother Canada anymore because you know what? You're going to be sitting on your couch watching it from home because you just got everybody to put their freaking gummy bears on you, you dumbass. Like,
yeah. And he's on Team Hot, so I don't like it.
I haven't even watched any of this happen, and I'm just like, I'm mind blown. Like, oh. Well,
and here's the thing. I disagree. Well, yes, I do disagree. I don't think Tim was being a coward. I think he knows the entire pulse of the house. He did it in a way where he gets to learn strategic and personal, and then has the ability to make the house think, this had nothing to do with me. You all decided it, not my fault. I thought that I would have done exactly what Tim done. I thought it was almost a better way than the way Vanessa did it on our season. I loved it. And I will also say, side note to it, I love that Cassandra, who people also hate, worked her way in to get to be part of it. Again, love her or hate her, she understands. Tim is HOH. This is a huge thing that's happening. I need to weasel my way in. Let me be the secretary.
She's playing the best game of the girls in there, honest to God. Like, from maybe not week one. Week one, she was a little all over the place, but once she, like, figured it out, she's been playing the best game. Like, she's got relationships with everybody in that house. She's funny. Everyone kind of likes her.
Mm-hmm.
And she's, like, I don't know. And she can campaign like a devil. Like, I mean, she was almost at the door, and she got herself to stay in the house. So...
several times, yep.
Yeah, so she's playing a really good game. I have no problems with the game Cass is playing. I don't know. I just think I don't think Tim wanted this HOH. I think he was probably trying to throw it and then was like, oh shit, I want it. How am I going to not reveal my cards so soon? And this is how he's doing it. Which, I mean, it is a smart way to do it if that's what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think my bigger problem is the fact that, like, the alliances didn't sit together and be like, let's figure this out. Who do we want on the block? And let's put our gummy bears in the right spots instead of just, like, listening to that. Like, I mean, for third wheel, that's fine because Dallas is who they want out of the game. But for Dallas's alliance, that was stupid. Like, it was just so stupid.
Well, for anybody wondering, and we'll talk more about it, but if for anyone wondering the exact way that this all ended up playing out, it was Joel ended up with 1 point, Dallas 29, Ramsey 9, Maddie 7, and Jared 4. Meaning, if Tim is actually going to stick to this, he will be nominating Ramsey and Dallas together.
Why is Ramsey a chicken?
Because I'm so glad you asked. This is my whole Ramsey point to you. And yes, I see what you're saying, chat room. We're going to take your questions too. Well, wait, first let me just say this. Jared, oh my God, bless his dumb, stupid heart. He was like talking to Tim when he like had to give his gummy bears, and Tim is like, now I just want to know your personal, and he's like, well, my personal is well, no, that's strategic, but the personal reason, nope, that's strategic, I don't. And Tim literally looks at him and goes, it's really the strategic reason. You're just making up another reason to say. Like, he totally had to help Jared. And same thing with Nikki. Like, Nikki could not wrap her head around it. Nikki's like, but I don't want that one to go, and I want to just eat the gummy bears, and I'm going to eat the... Oh my God. And Maddie, same thing too. He's like, you can take one gummy bear on your way out. You know, he did it like it was an office, like Cassandra was like the secretary and had to bring the people to him, and he was like keeping it formal. So he's like, Maddie, you can take one gummy bear on the way out. Maddie like fists it. She like grabs a handful, and I was like, oh God, he's going to run out of gummy bears. Maddie did not take one. She's a fistful of gummy bears. But
do you have pictures of her on the feeds last night with her makeup all smeared, looking like she almost drowned in the hot tub?
Oh, Nikki, God. No, I don't.
I need to know what happened there. Like, I was at work. So
vodka happened. I saw it. It was vodka. She's like, I want some more vodka. Where's my vodka? She's crazy. She's insane. But here's...
when we get in the backyard, we're totally getting her to sign a bottle of vodka.
I will let you guys all know right now, and Dana and I have already been talking about this. Clearly, like what we did with Big Brother 17, giving away an autographed thing from each cast member, God, in a way, I wish we could do it right now, because I feel like it is apparently a great way for us to raise money for the stuff that we do here at Reality Recaps. I wish there was a way we could do them early, then we would have no problem or need for this Big Brother Canada fundraiser for the backyard. But yes, Dana and I will be getting stuff signed from each cast member to give away. And another great reason why you want to go check out yourrealityrecaps.com/Canada, we're also going to get something from the house and get everybody to sign that one thing, and we're going to give it away to one of the donators. Well, it'll be a random thing. So everyone that donates, all your names will be put in, and one person will win something from the house signed by everyone. I'm going to steal a pillow, I think, Dana. I think I want to steal a pillow from the house.
I don't know. I don't remember there being...
There was pillows last year. There was totally pillows. You stole the box of crackers. Allegedly.
Allegedly. I think I stole the pickles. There was pickles in that fridge.
You stole a box of crackers, and we were hungry. We were hungry. Yeah. We went to the kitchen and we stole a bunch of food.
In that backyard.
They don't. Okay, here's my Ramsey point. See, and guess what? You could have all those shenanigans live streamed to you. So again, yourrealityrecaps.com/Canada. That's what you missed last year. Here's my problem with Ramsey. After all of this went down, thank you for the link in the chat room. Giselle did just put the link in the chat room for anyone that wants to check it out. It's just a lowercase c, which apparently it makes a difference, and I don't know why. Ramsey, after all of this went down, turned into a sniveling, blubbering mess to Mitch because Mitch confessed to him that he was a person that gave Ramsey 3 of the gummy bears. And Ramsey's like, I just can't handle it. And I thought it was my friend, too sensitive. I think it is so hot when guys cry. Sorry, Ramsey. Thanks for bursting that bubble, you sniveling baby. Oh, he's like, it's my heart, and I don't understand why you did it. And like the constant snot sucking with the crying. Like, oh my God. A few tears, Ramsey. It is hot. When you're a hot guy and you can show some emotion and cry, I love it. When you are an oversized toddler stuck in snot and crying while you're playing a game, Ramsey.
Oh my God. Eric.
I don't like it. Get over it. Like, he couldn't wrap his head around it. He could not wrap his head around the fact that Mitch put votes to him, and I forget who the other people were that put votes to him, but he did not like it, and Mitch had a good reason, which of course now I forget. It was something like he knew that Ramsey was going to be safe either way, and it was better for it to happen this way, or whatever. I don't really remember the exact reasons, but I thought it was very interesting watching the way Tim went about doing everything. Interesting with Cassandra inserting herself into all of it. And yes, Ramsey was a sniveling mess.
You know what, though? Nobody in this house... The only one that was even contemplating doing it and was kind of counting things was Lavita, but nobody is like studying. Like, you know how like in BBUS, like every night before they went to bed, they would kind of a little study session. Okay, like what happened on day 3 and what happened on day 6.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody is in that frame of mind right now.
No.
And that comp is coming.
Oh, it is coming. It is 100% coming. You know what else is coming? The end of our show. But first, let me tell you guys, old chat room, this. We'll spend like the last 10 or the next 10 or 15 minutes or so answering any questions that you guys have, anything that you, chat room, want us to talk about. So if there is anything, start giving it to us in the chat room of what any questions that you have for us or for Dana or for anything related to Big Brother Canada. So now that being said, yes, Dana, I do not understand why they are not studying the house more. I do not understand why they... I don't understand. Hooker Stevens says, Dana, what are your thoughts on the season overall so far?
I like it. I think it's interesting. I think the twists are good. I think with the exception of some of the players. I like the majority of them. So like yeah, I think it's gonna start getting really good now. Like it's kind of been a little slow, and
Mm-hmm.
no, Kelsey's family was not in the audience.
Oh, good. You got that? No. Okay.
Yeah, Mitch's family is in the audience every week. Levita's boyfriend was there. Actually, I just found out he wasn't like on the same row as me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm loving it. I love the house. I love the internet. Even though I didn't think I was gonna love the internationals, I'm loving the internationals now. I think it's good. I'm liking the comps are really good this year. I like this whole suite business going on.
I see Della G wants to know, is it a 90-minute show next week? Yes,
Yeah.
Arissa did say it is another 90-minute show. And I think this is a good point. Thank you, Cool Beans. I meant to make this before. Cool Beans said, Tim said he would have a special POV twist. That's not what he said. What he said to Dallas was, since we're playing by the Big Brother Australia rules, trust me, you want to win the POV. Because if you win the POV, he said, you're really gonna like it. And from what I understand, the way it works in Big Brother Australia is the person who wins the POV gets to pick
The
who goes
nomination.
up on the block. So I think Tim was kind of saying, I will let you pick who goes up if you take yourself off. However, there's also a part of it where the only people eligible to go up are people that play in Australia. So we also don't know if Tim is going to stick to that. So he might say, Dallas, you're off if you win. You can pick who your replacement is, but only out of the people that played in the POV. And we don't know. He doesn't have to stick to it. Tim is making up his own rules.
Do you know what Levita's big secret is that she was about?
No! Do you know that, Dana?
No.
I thought maybe, I'm not like, well, we know you wouldn't be able to tell us if you did,
No.
but, right as the show ended last night, like, literally, what it was showing to us at home was Kelsey was talking, and then Levita turns to Kelsey and she goes, well, I guess if we're going to be
Well,
stuck in here
yeah, yeah.
together,
I guess I should tell you. I don't know what.
she's like, I guess I should tell you, and boom, it ended. Now, hopefully that was smart. Hopefully that was purposely smart by editing. And Sunday night show will start by her saying, I guess I should tell you. That would be a really smart way to pick it up and go right into the HOH.
I don't know.
You have been at the, you also get to stay and see the side show tapings, Dana. Lisa MLT wants to know, why is Emmett still getting all that love?
I don't know. I'm not. I mean, I've never been a huge. I didn't like that Showmance season one. I was never like drinking the milk from the milkman, so to
Mm-hmm.
speak. I think he just. I don't know. I don't know why they still bring him back. Like, I don't get why Emmett was there and Jillian was doing Dick at Night. That's what I don't understand. Like, why the winner wasn't there
Mm-hmm.
and the third place was.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know if it's because of the whole Jared Emmett comparison
Right.
that's been happening. But I mean, Emmett made some really good points on the sideshow. He's like, I would be getting rid of Tim because Tim, like, if you're my enemy, you're my enemy. I can see you. I know you're there. I know what your agenda is. But Tim, you don't know what the agenda is with Tim. So you need him gone. He's too
Correct.
unstable. You never know what's going to happen with him. So get him gone. Don't get like, at least you keep your enemies close and you keep
Mm-hmm.
like, kind of thing. But
Social Mari wants to know, and I know that you would know this, is Jillian and Emmett, they're not together anymore, right?
I
Oh,
don't
you
know because
don't know?
I don't really follow them on Twitter. But someone did kind of shout that, asked that question, Adam from the audience, like during commercial break, and he just said, "Wouldn't you like to know?"
Oh,
So that kind
really?
of leads me to believe that he's not there. Because normally when Emmett and Jillian would do things, they did things together. Like if they were to make an appearance on the sideshow, they made it together.
XOXO Feedster says they are not together, so I would tend to believe then they are not together.
A lot of breakups. John and Netta broke up right after season 3 ended. The only ones that are still staying strong are Kevin and Peely right now. So,
Wheelie Girl says Jillian was very misleading on Dick at Night. Wheelie Girl, why are you paying for Dick at Night when we bring you the house guest for free every week?
busted.
You should be watching us here for free. Become a
Hayden and
patron.
Nicole broke up too.
Yeah.
Weren't they engaged?
I don't care. Debbie M says, Dana, if you lived in Canada, Debbie M, I'm sorry, I have to read the question. I get it wrong. Debbie M is saying, why do you get to go see the show? She's jealous.
Because Eric is really good to me.
Because Dana is part of Reality Recaps and we're press, and that's why.
You know what was great last week? Normally, like, it's a big cattle call. We go in, and, like, this week, they were like, if you have press or VIP tickets, come up front. And I'm like, yeah! Like, running.
Oh, I love it.
Like, and Dave's like, looking around. I'm like, knowing me comes in handy sometimes, honey.
Oh, my Lord. Sherry Blackberry wants to know, is there any update or story on the jackpot sign? I think she means the jackpot noises and...
No, I have a feeling that might be like a challenge thing. Like, how many times did that thing go off or something? But, yeah, they haven't told anybody. Like, I think we'll know when the house guests know, kind of.
Interesting. Okay, you now, chat room, we need to end our show, but don't go anywhere. We will come back and talk to you in 1 minute. For everybody else watching, thank you so much. We hope that you enjoyed this Big Brother Canada show. Don't forget that next week we will 100% be back with Boop Christine, and she'll give us her take. We'll interview her in person. We will do so much more, have all the drama for you. If you want to watch this show back or any of our other shows back, you can do it at yourrealityrecaps.com/bbcan. Check out Dana's blogs there too, which are great. The spoiler pictures if you want to know what's going on up to the minute. If you're watching back on iTunes, 5-star rating and a nice review. YouTube, the picture or the buttons below Dana, you can click on, thumbs up and subscribe. And of course, I'm not going to explain it again. yourrealityrecaps.com/Canada if you want to help get us to the backyard, or yourrealityrecaps.com/patron if you want to support our shows in another way, in a more consistent manner. And that's it. Dana, where can the people find you?
DGoodyear1975.
And you can follow me at Reality Recaps. And again, if you want to be part of this chat room, and if you're like, who's he talking to? younow.com/Reality Recaps. Watch us do our shows live. Bye, everybody.
Bye.